Not a big problem. One embarrassment after another. It's just amazing. The worst cabinet ever assembled, I would have to say. I can't think of a worse one. Maybe you can go back to the 19th century, pre-Civil War. But the worst defense secretary ever, the worst HHS secretary ever, the worst Department of Homeland Security secretary ever, the worst Secretary of Commerce ever, the worst head of the OMB ever. And I'm not sure I've finished it all, but, those are the highlights. And I wouldn't say Rubio is the worst Secretary of State, but he's the biggest sellout we've ever had as Secretary of State.
Apparently you've got a slight echo too. Oh, God.
Still working out technical difficulties?
Yep.
I know you'll solve them.
I hope so.
So I saw out of 20 officials, one African American who I didn't even know his name. No one's ever heard of him.
Hold on, you're not plugged in right now.
Yeah.
1 second.
I'm not plugged in?
Hold on.
Am I in?
You're in.
So I was saying, I saw, I don't know, 20 or 30
Kentucky,
officials,
Mr.
one
Massey, for 5
African-American who's so obscure.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That I didn't even know
Congress
who he was.
created the
No one's ever heard of
Department
him.
of
He's some
Congress
obscure member of
funds
the cabinet
Department
who
of
you never
Justice,
see
and Congress
or hear.
is responsible for the oversight of the department.
Surprised Ice Barbie doesn't have one.
Describing unspeakable things. Much of it redacted.
I missed Pam Bondi. I thought I saw her blonde head, but I didn't remember. Oh, there's always one cabinet member who is sequestered. They don't tell you who it is. So to reiterate, RFK Jr., the worst health secretary ever. Pam Bondi, the worst attorney general ever. Pete Hegseth, the worst secretary of defense ever. Russell Voigt, the worst Office of Management and Budget secretary ever. And those are just the highlights. I wouldn't call Marco Rubio the worst Secretary of Defense ever, but the biggest sellout.
He's the Secretary of State, I believe.
Secretary of State, yes, the biggest sellout we've ever had in the office of the Secretary of State. His soul is so twisted now, it'll never be straightened out. All right, so we're already 6 minutes late. It's going to be at least another 10. We could be here till midnight, friends, but we'll keep you entertained.
We will?
Absolutely. Just like I went through that rogues gallery of worst federal officials ever. And let me again stress, I've never seen this, and I've been watching these things, I hate to admit it, for over 60 years, in advance of a speech, not just one, but several media outlets warning us about the lies that the president is going to tell. There he is. Look at his hair. It looks like he just came out of a wind tunnel. Very weird. No, I can't really hear. Am I supposed to hear?
Do you want to hear now?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Static. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing I really need to hear. Look at the hair. It's weird. Not exactly a very diverse group congratulating him, is it? Doesn't look like America. More delay. Get on with it.
You want him to get on with it?
I do. I don't want to be here till midnight.
Oh, man. I think, he's going to take every second to eat this up, right?
I don't think we'll be here till midnight, but could be here till 11. Luckily, we're adults and it's not past our bedtime.
It's not?
Not.
We don't really need to hear the applause, right?
What's that?
I said we don't really need to hear the applause.
No. And it's very selective applause, as you can see, from a very selected group.
Looks like Congressman Green is holding a sign that says, "Black people aren't apes."
Black people what?
Are not apes.
He wouldn't know it. He doesn't know any black people, it seems. Right. I've seen one.
Right.
Out of maybe now 60 or 70. Still haven't seen any more.
Let me know if you need it turned up or not.
We have the CC on.
It's on, but I don't think there is any. Do you need the volume turned up?
Yes. And if we can get the CC, that'll be great. There is none.
Yeah.
I should be able to hear him.
Don't forget you want to say something.
This could be the high point of the speech before he says a word.
Yeah, it could be. There are not many people in there, especially obviously on the Dem side.
I'm not hearing anything.
Well, it's just more clapping right now. I mute it when you talk.
Gotcha. Nothing like clapping for yourself, huh?
He does that all the time, though. He always.
I know,
claps
it's
for
his
himself.
signature.
Yeah.
Come on, get on with it.
He's just standing there.
This isn't a photo op. But everything's a photo op for him. This is what he lives for.
Yeah.
Two things: adulation and grift.
Right.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Here we go again.
Thank you. All right. It's all coming from one side. Oh, God. They've started already.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
A truly distinguished First Lady, right? On a par with Eleanor Roosevelt, for sure.
She's a documentary film star, don't forget.
Yeah, more like a documentary infomercial.
Of the United States.
Tory.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
And if you believe that, I've got a big bridge to sell you in my hometown of Brooklyn.
Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
I couldn't even sell you a bridge for that. I'd have to sell you the Empire State Building for that whopper.
You knew he was going to go with all that golden imagery, right?
Right, he loves gold.
This chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record
Here we
levels.
go. Blame Biden for everything. Hasn't been president for 13 months, but he's responsible.
Crime at home and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before. And a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Remember, everything he does has to be better than anything we've ever seen before. Forget Lincoln, forget Washington, forget TR and FDR. None of that matters. It's only Trump.
Oh, people are walking out.
Al Green.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure. Thanks.
What a joke.
Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast.
Inflation is not plummeting. It is maybe 2 or 3 tenths of a percentage point lower than the last year of Biden, and according to the latest report, is likely to go up. Lie number one, and I probably missed one already.
Probably. We're going to be off for a second. I'm going to tell one more thing to the mic. Just listen, okay?
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
1 second.
That's the one thing he can truthfully brag about. He's got one accomplishment. He has shut down the border, but at what cost?
Right.
An enormous cost to it. It's not costless.
So that we'll love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
Code word for white conservative male America.
There's Blondie.
All across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
It's not very inspirational to start with statistics, particularly when they're dubious.
Yeah, so far I think this speech stinks.
It's awful. It's not
recorded
inspiring
history, the lowest
anything.
number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before.
Fred was an awful slumlord, a discriminator. He was so bad, Woody Guthrie wrote a song attacking Fred Trump.
Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12
Next
months,
lie,
my
not even close to the worst inflation, about half of the worst inflation, which was over 20%. Big lie number two, and I'm sure I've missed a bunch.
1.7%.
I missed that, 1.7%. What? Probably another lie. Gish Gallop, you can't keep up with him.
Yeah.
Dollars a gallon in some states. Under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster. It is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
I don't know anything about the prices of gasoline, but I guarantee he's cherry-picked. This is not typical.
I think gas has gone down.
It has gone down, but not like he's just tried to say.
Cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both.
You can't do both. You can't escalate the price of existing houses and then open up the housing market to the less affluent. Another lie.
Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Yes.
Can I talk?
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes. A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest. As thousands of new businesses are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger.
I only have one
Nobody
hearing
can
aid.
believe what they're watching.
I was hearing it fine.
American
know,
oil
but we
production
think
is
that
up
might
by
be
more than
causing the issue.
600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
There are so many lies, I'm sure I haven't caught them all. But I want to hit one of the biggest lies that he's told, because it's been debunked time and time again, and he still says the same lie, that there's almost 19 trillion in new investment that he's attracted. His own White House website says 9 million, half of what he's lying to the American people about. And even that figure has been wildly debunked by critics. No one knows, how many trillions, but it's well under half of what he's telling us. One of the biggest lies he's perpetrated on the American people. Another big lie he's perpetrated. Oh, my jobs have been all created in the private sector. Well, two things. He has cruelly and unjustly fired people for no reason, for no cause, causing them enormous personal hardships while he lives the lavish billionaire life. And what he didn't tell you was only 181,000 jobs were created. That is the lowest we've had except in a time of recession. I repeat, the worst we've had except in a time of recession, and a fraction of the number of jobs created under Biden. Moreover, he didn't tell you, economic growth actually declined in his first year, about below what it was in Biden's last year. There are other lies, but, it's Gish Gallop. I can't keep up with every single one of them. I am ashamed of these athletes becoming political props for Trump. I admire the women who refuse to become nothing more than political props for Trump. Of course, he'll take credit for what the USA amazing Olympic hockey team did.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
So except for securing the border, which has an enormous cost, virtually everything else he said was a lie, including huge lies, not minor ones.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
Shameful. Shame on every one of you becoming political props. You can go to the White House and visit, but you don't become political props for a partisan president. You've tarnished your own glory. What?
When you're ready to talk,
Yeah.
can you just press the letter N? So when you're ready, press it mute, press it again to play it. Is that okay?
Okay.
Try it.
I can't hear anything.
To that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Shame, shame, shame.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And
Shame, shame, shame. You do not become political props.
special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
Crime in Washington, D.C. and all our cities were plummeting before Trump took office and have nothing to do with his deployment of the National Guard.
But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics, I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
Leave it to Trump to make everything about him.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Trump, who slickly maneuvered not to serve his country, loves to bask in the reflected glory of the military. Of course, he doesn't like losers like John McCain who were captured.
Brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one? As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast.
Look, I can admire these people. That's fine. But this has gone way too far. We want to hear what your plans and policies and ideas are for America, not for you to take reflected glory in all these wonderful people.
Not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety.
I can do it. Am I doing it? Yeah. I'm sorry. No, I'm all right. I've had 15 minutes straight of nothing but other people. Who he's trying to take credit for.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that...
Look, we know these people are wonderful. That's not the point of the State of the Union, for Trump to take reflected glory in all of these other people. We want to hear what you're doing for the country. And we haven't heard a damn thing yet about what your ideas and plans are. And it's about 9:30.
Have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aid, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican...
Whatever you may think of the tax cuts, they're not the largest tax cuts in American history. But of course, for Trump, everything has to be the largest, the biggest, the best, unlike anything we've ever seen before and will ever see again.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
It's not true that there's going to be no tax on Social Security. And the things he's mentioned are minor elements of the tax bill. The vast bulk of the tax benefits are going to the wealthy and to the big corporations. Yes, he's thrown a few pennies to ordinary Americans, but the great thrust of the bill, plus anything he's given to them, he's taken away with his huge cuts in Medicaid and food stamps. You know, he bragged about bringing people off food stamps. Yeah, because he's cut the food stamps of people who need them. And meanwhile, we can spend tens of billions of dollars on ICE, hundreds of billions of dollars on his golf trips. God knows how much on his foreign adventures.
Very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000.
Why don't you tell us how a big rich corporation like Amazon had their tax bill cut dramatically because of what you did? And who makes up for that? Us ordinary taxpayers. And the few pennies you've thrown for these minor elements are a minuscule fraction of the great thrust of the bill.
Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people. When I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school, and I made computers, and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling, and pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops, so I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
I guess he's trying to emulate the Melania documentary. This is becoming an infomercial, not a State of the Union speech.
$100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000.
This is not even close to the biggest turnaround in history. Biggest turnaround in history was under Franklin Roosevelt after the Great Depression. And yes, the stock market is up, but nowhere near. There was a whole debunking of this in the media, what stock markets around the world in other countries, that Trump is constantly denigrating.
They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the
the lies are so thick, I can't even begin to. No inflation. Inflation is about where it was, within a few tenths of a percentage point, under Biden, where he says it was the biggest disaster ever, and the latest data shows it's accelerating.
But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I...
You're right, Sam. There are only 4 justices. That's astounding. And only one who Trump appointed.
...along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the...
Oh, maybe there were 2. There might have been Barrett and Kavanaugh.
So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful, country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without.
2 big lies bundled in like one sentence. Number one, we're all happy and prosperous about the tariffs. 64% of Americans in the latest polls oppose his tariffs. Tariffs are not free. They are a tax on the American people. I don't remember the next lie he said. There's just too many to keep track of.
Paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
No, he wants to take the financial burden off the rich. Most ordinary Americans pay more in payroll taxes than they pay in personal income taxes. And the least affluent Americans don't pay any personal income taxes. Plus, the amount of revenue from tariffs is a tiny fraction of what's needed to fund the government. The deficit is actually going up under Trump. He didn't want to tell you that either.
For
I have a
decades
question for
before
you,
I came
Samuel.
along,
Yes.
How many
we had the exact
new
opposite.
ideas for the
From
next 3
trade to
years has
healthcare,
Trump
from
presented
energy
so far?
to immigration.
I can't hear a thing.
Everything
Never
was
mind.
stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth
0.
out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murdered.
There he goes again. Another totally debunked big lie that all these people from prisons and asylums, all these dangerous peoples came into the country. In fact, the so-called undocumented immigrants are the backbone of a number of industries in America: agriculture, construction, personal service, hospitality, and they commit crimes at rates substantially lower than the Native Americans that Trump is talking about. They're not vermin. They're not poisoning the blood of our country, as Trump has claimed.
Had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
Did you hear what he said there? Who caused what problem? Something Biden did, I'm sure.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well.
What a lie. You've not come close to ending inflation. Inflation is about within a few tenths where it is, and the latest indications, it's going up. Over 60% of the American people think you've done a rotten job on controlling prices.
Fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time.
Oh, once again, the greatest ever. Somehow miraculously, after a year of prices basically staying the same, somehow they're going to plummet. Remember what he told us in his campaign? I am going to bring down prices dramatically from day one. Hasn't come close to happening.
Oh, I think you paused it.
Go. Nobody. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at.
That is not a health care plan. That is simply, like he always does, trying to buy off people. You give people money. Guess where they have to buy their insurance? In the private insurance market, which is going to go right back to where it was, which is 40 million people plus with pre-existing conditions either won't get insurance or will have to pay sky high. And they did not renew the premiums under Obamacare, which means for tens of millions of others, their prices are going to go sky high. It's not a plan. He's had 10 years to come up with a plan and hasn't done it.
A much lower cost. Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action.
Tried to do
but
what?
I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
That is just not true. No one knows exactly what's going to become of this so-called price initiative, but it's not going to be the lowest prices anywhere in the world.
Second term
Press the M and not the space button.
should be my third term.
I don't know what you said.
But strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more.
You cannot have price reductions of 300, 400, 600%. That would mean you are paying the drug companies, the drug companies are paying you big money for using their drugs. If you reduced it by 100%, that's zero. You cannot reduce it 100%, certainly not 300, 400, 600%. He keeps recycling the same big lies that are patently false, have been debunked time and time again.
All available right now. Logged onto the Trump RX website and got the same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500, a reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom.
It's now what time is it?
It's 9:52. Oh, it's muted.
So
It's muted. Go ahead.
All right. So the speech has been on for 40 minutes? We've not heard one single idea about what he's going to do for the American people or the world over the next 3 years. Not a single new policy proposal, but, 20 minutes of infomercials.
buy it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community, and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial.
This idea about AI and building their own plants, that's the first policy proposal he's come up with. But he promised before electricity prices would go down, and utility prices have gone up. So take it with an enormous grain of salt until it's actually analyzed.
Investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up into thousands single-family homes. And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Raysel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon. We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
He's already taken steps to make Medicare enrollment, maintenance, and Social Security more difficult. He's done nothing to protect it, while he's gutted food stamps and Medicaid. Doesn't tell you that.
People, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records, your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
How's that for a big joke? Donald Trump coming out against corruptly profiting, when that's been the hallmark of his administration.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she was here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay. I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated 19 billion.
Oh, you were just waiting for this, for Trump to go after Somalis for corruption, when he has pardoned some of the worst fraudsters and corruptionists in modern history, even depriving their victims of gaining restitution, when his whole administration has been corrupted on his avowed revenge retribution tour, corrupting our justice system to go after his enemies.
$10 from the American. We'll get it done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our...
Whatever money they may collect is not even going to come close to balancing the budget, assuming they can collect anything. And we know how incompetent this justice... They've lost over 1,000 career employees. They're headed by utter incompetence. And the notion that you're going to balance the budget on the back of American Somalis is not just a joke, it is a gross insult to the American people.
Problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
Anything they might get from the Somalis, and who knows, might be nothing, will be a tiny fraction of the many tens of billions of dollars they're spending on ICE to terrorize our communities. It now turns out they shot and killed another American citizen. That's 3 American citizens already shot and killed by ICE, not to mention how many have been terrorized or hurt.
Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the 1st grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
Is this someone who got hit by an immigrant or something? No. I think this is another one of the despicable things Trump does. You know, there are 12 million undocumented immigrants. Of course, you're going to find some who commit crimes or do something wrong. But study after study after study has shown they commit crimes, including violent crimes, at less, significantly less than native-born Americans. And one of those studies was by the National Institute of Justice. And guess what Trump did? He scrubbed it from the website of the Department of Justice. You could find examples of anything. You know, there are 70 murders a day. You can prove that it's German native-born Americans like Donald Trump who pose a real threat to our country.
As you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades...
I cannot overemphasize how despicable this is. Pulling out a few examples out of 12 million people and then denigrating, dehumanizing, calling them vermin, calling them cutthroats and killers, an entire group of people. As I said, in a country this big, you can prove anything from isolated examples. This is just awful. This is one of the worst examples of Donald Trump's big lie. And if I, seem a little bit upset, there's good reason for it.
Really extinguished the brightest light in her family's life violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers.
You're not deporting illegal alien criminals. Another huge lie. Over 70% of those you're deporting, or at least arresting and detaining, have zero criminal convictions. And the vast majority of the other 20-some-odd% have minor, for the most part, violations, like traffic violations. A minuscule percentage of those that you detain and arrest are dangerous, violent criminals. And for that, you are terrorizing our community. You're killing American citizens. You're detaining American citizens and legal residents. You're violating the cruel and unusual punishment prohibition of the Constitution by detaining people in vile, unsanitary, unhygienic conditions, and you're lying about the rationale.
Americans and a wide open border. Right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we've now passed the 10 o'clock hour, and about 90% of this has been infomercial, and almost everything he says that I know about has been a lie. There may be other lies. I'm not up on every single thing he says.
That shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice.
He has gutted the Federal Emergency Management Administration. It's not the Democrats, among other vital services that he's cut, like weather services, health services, and so many other things.
Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Can't protect illegal aliens. He's proven that. It's not just illegal aliens, it's U.S. citizens. Somehow these people are poisoning our blood, they're vermin. They don't deserve protection under the law? How un-American, how inconsistent with the founding could that possibly be? The founders, they didn't have illegal immigrants. They welcomed people. No such thing as illegal immigrants. Anyone could come here and make a life here, as have the great majority of people that they've deported or arrested and detained.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm all.
You imagine Donald Trump telling people they should be ashamed of themselves?
penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
This is what authoritarians do. They find scapegoats. It doesn't matter who they are. You know, if they're aliens in America, Jews in Germany, it makes no difference. Uyghurs in China, there's always a scapegoat to be found.
Importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
Save America Act is one of the most despicable pieces of legislation we've seen in a long time. It would disenfranchise as many as 21 million Americans who don't have access to documentary proof of citizenship like it demands to be able to vote. And countless women may be disenfranchised because they don't have the proof of the change of the name, all in the name of a non-existing problem, stopping voting by non-citizens. You are more likely to be hit by lightning, every study shows, than a non-citizen to cast a vote.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
Mail-in ballots have greatly expanded the franchise. That's exactly what Trump doesn't want. He doesn't want you voting. That's what this is all about. There's nothing wrong with mail-in ballots. Several states, including blood red Utah, have been using mail-in ballots for some time without an iota of problems or fraud. He makes these problems up, and then he proposes draconian, authoritarian solutions.
No, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good.
Voting is not a privilege in most states, and inferentially from the Constitution, it is a right. It cannot be equated with buying liquor or going into a hotel or anything else. And again, there is no evidence that states like my state of Maryland, which doesn't have an ID, has any worse fraud than states with draconian IDs. In fact, Maryland is an exemplar of virtually zero fraud, despite having no documentary ID requirement of any kind. But the facts have never bothered Trump.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say.
Again, he fabricates the idea of democratic cheating. Number one, there isn't any significant cheating. You know, he claims the 2020 election was stolen from him, contradicted by his own Department of Justice, led by the loyalist Bill Barr, contradicted by his own cybersecurity operation, contradicted by 60 court cases, including a number of them rejected by judges that he appointed himself. This is all a huge lie to feed his authoritarian ambitions. And no one in America should stand for this.
Sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy.
Oh, now we got a new scapegoat, transgender. You know, go after the most vulnerable, the least able to defend themselves.
Was found in a horrific situation.
And find one example out of thousands. In fact, most people undergoing gender affirmative surgery have found it to be a positive thing, and medical professionals endorse it. Again, you find one example and use it to damn an entire people.
Long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Liberty University was founded by the widely debunked and discredited Jerry Falwell. You know, it is not a established, nonpartisan, independent university.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new.
The states are not ripping children from their parents' arms and forcing them into transgender. No state has laws or practices like that. Another big lie to scapegoat an entire group of people.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
There he is, denigrating, dehumanizing people just because they disagree with him. We've never seen anything remotely like this from another president.
Our country, with people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Guess what, Trump? Every poll shows, believe it or not, every one, that people think Biden did a better job than you're doing in your presidency.
Youth and our wonderful First Lady, now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the
Probably the most panned movie in modern history.
Advancing a landmark executive order on foster care and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators.
You want bipartisan support? Start by telling the truth. That's the first step.
Generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact.
We're now at 10:15. He spent vastly more time on infomercial than substance, and we haven't even gotten yet to foreign policy. Haven't even gotten yet to foreign policy.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous.
Oh, Christianity. No other religion matters. The only thing you mention is Christianity. You know, dump on, people like us of Jewish faith, Muslims, people who might have faith but not a particular religion. You only mention Christianity.
A big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
Yeah, Charlie Cook is the one who demonizes, attacks, dehumanizes those who don't share his Christian beliefs. A real model for the rest of us. Look, as I said, you can mourn the death of Charlie Kirk. That doesn't mean you celebrate all the horrible things that he has stood for. now 10:17 and we're still into the infomercial. Frankly, this shouldn't even be allowed to be on the air, but I guess you have to because it's State of the Union. But it's nothing like any State of the Union we've seen from any other president.
I'm just waving hello to the people. I'm still here. I haven't heard a single word. But your reactions, you know, I get the gist of it.
Possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by
Oh, my
a
God.
woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska.
More infomercial at 10:18. You know, he should be charged by the networks for broadcasting this.
It's near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way,
Got to tell you something, Trump. All those people are wonderful people. But having wonderful people around you doesn't make you a wonderful person. You got to sell yourself, not others.
stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal set free to kill in America.
I've been asked to explain what I mean by an infomercial. What I mean is you're selling something without substance. You're just manufacturing something to make yourself look good. Usually you're selling a product. In this case, you're selling yourself through what is essentially a partisan commercial, not a real substantive speech.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
That is a state function. States deal with crime. Federal government only deals with a limited segment of crime. And this notion of all of these repeat offenders, he just told us crime is way down. You know, an utter contradiction just because he wants to dig up something to blame on the Democrats.
New Orleans, Louisiana, big success. And our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen?
Look, I'm not up on the crime statistics of D.C., but I can't believe there's no crime. I remember him claiming there were no murders, and in fact, there were quite a number of murders during the time he claimed there were no murders. So don't take that at all seriously.
See, this January, we're down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this
All right,
stunning
I just
turnaround
fact-checked this.
was 20-year-old West
Based on
Virginia
data
Army
from
National Guard Specialist Sarah.
Just fact-test his claim. Based on data from early 2026, the claim that there was no crime in D.C. is patently false. Not exaggerated, false.
The next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country.
And the infomercial goes on and on and on. This is not a State of the Union speech. This is a partisan ad that he should be paying for.
Be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like it.
By the way, almost all my predictions have come true, right? Doubling down on his tariffs and other policies, denigrating and attacking his enemies, telling us he has created the greatest economy, the greatest society ever. Lie, lie, lie. The only prediction that hasn't come true, well, he did at least briefly say he stopped 8 wars, but so far at 10/22, we've yet to hear anything of substance on foreign affairs.
Got violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody.
You know, I can't even rank this. I've heard, God knows, dozens of these speeches. I can't even rank it because it's not a real State of the Union speech. It is a partisan infomercial using good, wonderful people as props for his own purposes, and of course denigrating, attacking, dehumanizing his political opponents.
Laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said. Sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying, and after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melanie? She turned out to be right.
Even the applause from the partisans on all this infomercials is dying down. They must be just getting tired of it. Even a loyal Republican can only take so much of this before your stomach starts to turn. Again, nothing against these wonderful people. It's the way they're being used and exploited in lieu of a real substantive State of the Union speech.
Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
(10:26), almost an hour and a half past the scheduled start. Nothing on foreign affairs.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
I thought Trump thought those who were wounded or killed in battle were suckers, but I guess he no longer thinks that.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger.
We're finally getting to foreign affairs almost an hour and a half.
Including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? You're sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war.
Now we're getting the frequently debunked, dubious claims about all the wars that he solved.
And Egypt and Ethiopia.
My last prediction has come true.
And Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Didn't hear him talk about the big war in Ukraine, which he promised to stop on day one. We're now over a year into the administration, and we're far, far from achieving peace in Gaza.
State, Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco. People don't like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Of course, Marco Rubio has to be the best ever Secretary of State. Everything Trump does has to be the greatest, the best ever, something we've never seen before and will never see again.
Both living and dead has been returned home. Can you believe that? Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible.
Here's something that just flashed. While Trump is perpetrating his infomercial, it's now 10:30, Democrats have won three more state legislative seats, continuing to pile up their victories. 2 special elections in Pennsylvania and another House seat in Maine. And these were not narrow victories either. The infomercial doesn't work. The American people want something real.
And they dug. They finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job. And we're working very hard to end the 9th war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying.
This just came across too. Fact check. Trump makes false claims in State of the Union address. Well, we've beaten all the fact checkers.
President, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Mid.
Did not obliterate their nuclear weapons program. That's why you're desperately trying to restore the nuclear agreement from way back around 2015 that you scuttled. You did undermine it. I agree with that. But once again, tell the truth. Don't give us hyperbole.
His control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them.
And remember, you said you had the protesters back, and you did nothing for them. You just let them go out and be slaughtered, providing them no protection whatsoever.
Threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue, starting it all over.
Why does Iran have a nuclear weapons program? Because you abrogated the treaty that was working. Your own administration certified it was working. Yes, it wasn't designed to turn Iran into a pro-American democracy. It had one objective: keep them from developing a nuclear weapon, and it was working until you dismantled it.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain: I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
If you didn't want to let them get a nuclear weapon, you never should have abrogated the treaty that was stopping them from doing it. And you promised very quickly you'd negotiate a better treaty. You've had years to do it, and you come up empty.
Most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong, because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together.
Remember, you promised, unlike those horrible Democrats, you would not be engaging in hostile actions abroad. And what have you done? You've engaging in warlike actions against boats that you claim are running drugs without proof in the Caribbean and the Pacific. You've attacked Yemen, Nigeria, I believe Syria, Venezuela, among other examples. No wonder, at least some of your base is very unhappy with believing that you abandon your campaign promises.
To pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of that. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 3. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up.
Another lie that European countries were paying nothing for their defense and the United States was paying it all. Just not true.
Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently And every service member.
This just came across my desk. Not only is Trump trying to force voters to prove their citizenship, which will likely disenfranchise tens of millions, he is considering forcing banks to verify citizenship of their customers, potentially threatening access to banking services for God knows how many law-abiding Americans.
I got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to... I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776.
I think we've now hit the longest
said, that's good. And I'll
State
tell
of
you
the
what,
Union
on
address
military,
in history, or very close to it.
4 months ago, on military,
Yes.
I never see a person
Depends
in the
when
military
you
that doesn't
count.
thank me for it, so we're honored to do it. They deserve it.
If you count when the address was officially supposed to start at 9, we've now hit the longest State of the Union address ever, 1 hour and 38 minutes. If you count when it actually started, we're within about 5 minutes of the longest State of the Union address ever. And the great majority has been devoted to infomercials. You could have cut this address in half or more and lost no substance. What little substance there was.
Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. And with our new military campaign, we have...
There's no evidence that the influx of drugs in the United States has in any way significantly declined under Trump. We've had decades of this kind of militaristic approach. It's called the war on drugs. It's cost us trillions of dollars and not made a dent in the drug problem in this country.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched. They saw what happened. This is a different...
I will admit the military operation in isolation was impressive, but who is he now dancing with? Machado, the Nobel Prize winner, one whose Nobel Prize he envies, who represents the democratic movement, or the remnants of the same old Maduro regime? You know, when he justified this intervention, he talked about oil a dozen times, never mentioned democracy once. And the last thing we need is more burning of fossil fuels and, you know, threatening our well-being on this planet.
Is overwhelmed. All defenses are not only defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice.
So you have his outlaw vice president now running the country.
And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries.
The new president is the old vice president, a mainstay of the Maduro regime, not a democratic leader.
She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved Uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared
that prison was no more notorious than the prison in El Salvador that you were shipping your deportees to.
She would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
We are now, I believe, officially at the longest State of the Union address, and the infomercial continues.
Oh, God. When will it end?
It will never end. As I said, he should be paying the networks for this time. It is not a presidential address. It is an infomercial for Donald Trump in which he attempts to bask in the glory of others while denigrating, attacking, and dehumanizing his opponents, as well as immigrants, Somalis, and others that he doesn't like.
Warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover.
Oh my God, the information goes on even after he has reached the longest State of the Union address in history.
Beautiful, powerful. Wearing the dog tags his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking.
I wonder why Trump has not recognized the brave survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring.
Machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody.
I guess the dozens of people in Venezuela who were killed by our operation don't count. They don't matter.
Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy, Eric, and Amy, come on in. So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Look, these are wonderful, brave, extraordinary people. But it is truly horrific the way Trump is exploiting them for partisan purposes. This is supposed to be an address that informs the American people about your ideas, your plans, your policies in great depth, not an attempt to achieve reflected glory through the achievement of others. That belongs in a political commercial, not in an address to the American people. You're all being cheated. You know, Ronald Reagan did it right. He picked a few select individuals to celebrate. But he did not make reflected glory from others the centerpiece. He gave us, you might not agree with it, but he gave us a lot of substance, a lot of ideas. You know, Donald Trump is nothing like Ronald Reagan.
To know you, I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed.
They changed the name of Fort Bragg for good reason, because it was named after a traitor, a Confederate who fought to uphold slavery.
Incredible night of victory. We'll also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there. Thank you.
I take it back. I said this speech could have been cut down by half. Wrong. Could have been cut down at least by 3/4, and you wouldn't have lost any substance whatsoever.
Got him.
What's that?
Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go.
Oh, my God. We're almost at 11 o'clock, and he can't stop the infomercial.
Navy fighter pilot Royce Williams served
Make it
in
stop.
World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than...
This is the Nightmare on Elm Street version 2, the nightmare that will not go away. And this takes nothing from these extraordinary people. But that's not the point of a State of the Union address, to try to create your own glory by reflecting on others. You should be informing us of what you're going to do for the American people and the world, and that's less than a quarter of almost now 2 hours of your speech.
bullets to his own plane.